Good morning, everybody. We have something pretty exciting for you today.
Most people see the smiling face behind Laura Farms, the energetic young farmer driving massive machinery across endless Nebraska fields. But what viewers don't see is the quiet pressure, the relentless challenges, and the emotional weight that comes with building a life tied completely to the land. Behind the viral videos and growing success is a story filled with uncertainty, sacrifice, and moments that tested her strength in ways few could imagine. How did an ordinary farm girl become one of the internet's most watched agricultural creators? And what has it truly cost her to live this dream? Because Laura Wilson's journey is far deeper than anyone expected. Long before thousands of people tuned in to watch her harvest crops or repair towering machines, Laura Wilson was simply a girl growing up surrounded by open skies and endless rows of farmland in rural Nebraska. Farming wasn't just something her family did, it was woven into her identity. As a fifth-generation farmer, the expectation to carry that legacy forward was always quietly present, even when the responsibility felt overwhelming. Unlike many people her age who dreamed of city life, Laura chose a path filled with early mornings, unpredictable weather, and financial risks that could change everything in a single season. Farming demands resilience. One violent storm, one equipment failure, or one bad market swing can erase months of effort overnight. Yet she leaned into the uncertainty rather than running from it. What makes Laura's story especially compelling is that she didn't step into agriculture to chase attention. At the time, few young women were visible in large-scale row farming, and the industry itself was rapidly changing. Technology was advancing, farms were expanding, and the pressure to adapt was constant. Still, she carved out her place through determination and a willingness to learn the hard way. But while Laura appeared confident behind the wheel of multi-ton equipment, there was a deeper reality most people never considered. Stepping into a generational role meant proving again and again that she belonged there. And soon, a decision she made almost on a whim would quietly change the entire trajectory of her life. It started with something surprisingly simple: a camera, an internet connection, and the idea that maybe people would be curious about what farm life really looked like. Laura wasn't trying to become famous. In fact, when she first shared glimpses of planting season and long days in the cab of a tractor, she had no way of knowing strangers across the country would soon be watching her every move. At the time, agriculture was often misunderstood. Many imagined peaceful barns and slow country living, not the high-stakes environment modern farmers navigate daily. Laura's videos pulled back that curtain. She showed the breakdowns, the exhaustion, the race against incoming storms, and the split-second decisions that could determine whether a season ended in profit or loss. Then something unexpected happened. The channel began to explode. Views climbed faster than she could have predicted, and with them came attention she had never prepared for. Support poured in from viewers, fascinated by her knowledge and authenticity, but the spotlight also brought a new kind of pressure. Suddenly, mistakes weren't private learning moments anymore. They unfolded in front of thousands. Balancing farming with a rapidly growing online presence meant her workday never truly ended. When the machinery shut off, the editing began. When others rested, she planned the next upload. What once felt like a casual experiment was quickly turning into something far bigger and far heavier than she ever imagined. For Laura, farming was never meant to be a solo journey. At the center of her world stood Grant, her husband, business partner, and the steady presence beside her through seasons that tested both their patience and endurance. Their relationship wasn't built on grand gestures or picture-perfect moments. Instead, it grew in tractor cabs, across dusty fields, and during quiet drives home after impossibly long days. Working together might sound romantic, but the reality was far more intense. Farming doesn't pause for emotions, and stress has a way of following you from the fields straight into your home. When crops were threatened or equipment failed at the worst possible time, the pressure didn't just impact the farm, it weighed on their marriage too. Every decision carried financial risk, and there were moments when the future felt anything but certain. Yet viewers began noticing something powerful about their dynamic. There was a calm trust between them, an unspoken understanding that no matter how chaotic things became, they would figure it out side by side. Grant wasn't just helping run the operation, he was part of the foundation that allowed Laura to keep pushing forward when the workload seemed endless. Still, Living so much of their life in public created a strange new challenge. The more their channel grew, the more strangers speculated about their relationship, analyzing small moments and drawing conclusions that rarely reflected reality. And before long, whispers online would begin spreading faster than the truth itself. Success on the internet comes with a hidden cost, and Laura was about to experience it firsthand. As her audience grew, so did something far less welcome: speculation. Suddenly, videos and comment threads began surfacing with dramatic titles, hinting that something was wrong behind the scenes. Strangers started analyzing her expressions, her tone, even brief moments with Grant, as if they were clues to a story no one had actually confirmed. Some channels pushed emotional narratives suggesting hardship or tension without evidence. Others created outright clickbait, chasing views with claims that quickly spread across platforms. For Laura, this was unfamiliar territory. Farming had always been straightforward. You planted, you worked, and eventually you saw the results. But the internet played by very different rules. What made it harder was the lack of control. Once a rumor appears online, it can travel faster than facts ever could. Supporters often stepped in to defend her, yet the noise was impossible to completely silence. Imagine dedicating your life to honest work, only to watch strangers rewrite your story from afar. Despite the chatter, Laura chose not to fuel the drama. Instead, she stayed focused on what she could control: her farm, her work, and the community that valued authenticity over headlines. That quiet resilience spoke louder than any response ever could. But while the rumors faded in and out, the real challenges she faced weren't happening in comment sections. They were unfolding out in the fields. Out in the fields, there are no filters, no retakes, and no easy days. While viewers often see golden sunsets and powerful machines rolling across the horizon, the reality of farming is far less forgiving. Every season brings a new gamble, and no amount of preparation can fully protect against the unexpected. Weather alone can rewrite months of effort overnight. One violent hailstorm, one stretch of relentless drought, or even poorly timed rain can leave crops struggling before harvest even begins. Then there's the machinery. Massive, expensive, and absolutely essential. When a breakdown happens in the middle of a critical window, panic isn't far behind. Repairs cost time, and in farming, time is often the difference between success and setback. Laura has been open about the mental weight that comes with this lifestyle. The long hours blur together, physical exhaustion becomes normal, and the responsibility never truly shuts off. Even during rare quiet moments, farmers are already thinking about the next season, the next risk, the next problem waiting just over the horizon. Yet one of the toughest blows came with personal loss, a reminder that life doesn't slow down even when your world does. Pushing forward through grief while the farm still demanded attention required a level of strength few people ever see. And strangely, it was during these hardest stretches that Laura revealed the trait that would ultimately define her: a resilience that refused to break. What truly sets Laura apart isn't just her ability to operate massive equipment or manage thousands of acres. It's the quiet determination that shows up day after day, no matter how difficult the season becomes. While many people might have stepped back under the weight of expectations, Laura leaned in, choosing growth over comfort. Over time, she evolved into more than a farmer with a camera. Without necessarily planning it, she became a bridge between two worlds, helping millions better understand where their food comes from and what modern agriculture really demands. Young women, especially, began seeing someone who looked like them thriving in a space that had long been male-dominated. That influence carries a responsibility Laura seems to handle with remarkable humility. What viewers often notice is her steadiness. She doesn't chase drama, and she rarely lets outside noise dictate her direction. Instead, she focuses on showing the process honestly: the wins, the setbacks, and everything in between. That transparency has built a level of trust many creators struggle to achieve. But resilience doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means continuing forward even when uncertainty lingers, when exhaustion creeps in, and when the outcome is far from guaranteed. Laura's strength isn't loud, it's consistent, and perhaps that's the most powerful part of her story. Because the journey she's building isn't just about today's harvest, but about a legacy that could inspire an entirely new generation to step into the fields. Laura Wilson's story isn't heartbreaking in the way rumors often suggest. It's powerful in a quieter, more lasting sense. Behind the camera is someone who chose a demanding life, embraced uncertainty, and kept moving forward when the pressure could have easily pushed her back. Her journey reveals that strength doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like showing up before sunrise and refusing to quit when the path gets rough. In a world chasing quick success, Laura reminds us that real fulfillment is built through patience, resilience, and purpose. And maybe the most remarkable part, her story is still only just beginning.